Tonight, appealing the encampment ruling, the decision, and the pushback.
It's not going to change the fact that there are not enough shelter spaces for those currently unhoused in the region.
Over the region and the province's plan to clear the site in downtown Kitchener. Accused in a $48 million fraud scheme.
That forged documents were used to create the appearance of legitimate business activity.
What police are alleging some Waterloo Region gun company executives were doing. Plus, the sweetest season.
They're a little earlier because it's warmer. It's been warmer earlier, but it looks pretty good.
The goods on this year's local strawberry crop. Good evening. The region and the province are pushing back tonight in their plan to clear the encampment in downtown Kitchener. They're joining forces to appeal a recent court ruling which halted the eviction until alternative arrangements for the residents were firmed up. The decision to appeal not landing well, though, with some in the community. CTV's Alexandra Hollick was covering this special council meeting today where all of this went down. Alexandra, first of all, how are those who are supporting the encampment residents reacting to this?
Well, advocates tell me they're disappointed, Tony, and they feel like council's mind was already made up before today's meeting even started. An explosive outburst in council chambers Tuesday as the region of Waterloo announced its plans to appeal a Superior Court ruling on a Kitchener encampment.
Okay, we're going to take a 5-minute break.
Reactions forcing a recess at the end of a 3-hour-long meeting dedicated to delegations on the tent city at 100 Victoria Street.
I live at 100 Victoria Street North.
One by one, around 30 people took to the podium, asking council to accept a May 2026 ruling by Ontario Superior Court Justice Michael Gibson. In his 88-page decision, Gibson called the region's encampment bylaw unconstitutional, recommending the region find an alternative location for encampment residents or develop a safe tenting protocol.
They have instead decided to appeal, which is, using taxpayer dollars to fund expensive litigation that is time-consuming and isn't going to change anything.
It's not the first time the region's eviction plans have been shut down by the courts. In 2023, a Kitchener judge ruled the region couldn't evict people from the site unless they gave them another place to live.
We've already lost the 2 court cases, and basically for the same reason. Both judges are saying we're not respecting the Charter of Rights and freedoms for people living in the encampments.
The encampment has been on the regional property at the corner of Victoria and Weber Streets for 5 years. Metrolinx wanted to start using the land this spring as a staging ground for a new regional transit hub. The delay prompting the province to step in.
Why have an encampment of 30 to 35 odd people hold up millions upon millions of dollars in investment, economic development for the greater need of a growing region? It just doesn't make sense. We're going to appeal the decision.
But some councillors say the appeal is a waste of time and money.
It's time to move forward. I don't want more legal battles. I don't want to waste any more time.
There were also concerns raised over Premier Doug Ford's pledge to use the notwithstanding clause if the appeal goes south.
I find the notwithstanding clause undermines our judicial system. It undermines democracy. It's a very dangerous road to go down.
We have a great respect for the judiciary. We will follow the steps of the judicial process. We're confident that by using the appeal mechanism, we will win the day.
Alexandra Hollick is back live with us now for the latest on this. Alexandra, this has been going on for 5 years now. We know the region has always said, that they're trying to find that balance, helping people find shelter, but also getting moving on that transit hub. The province certainly wants to get going on it. How's the head of regional government explaining today's decision to appeal?
Tony, late this afternoon, Chair Karen Redmond released a statement saying our decision to appeal is about seeking clarity so municipalities can responsibly carry out both both of our critical roles, supporting our most vulnerable residents and delivering the infrastructure our growing community depends on. She goes on to say this is a very challenging moment for our community and for council, adding this is not an easy path, but it is a necessary one. And Councillor Pam Wolf says it'll likely be months before the region's appeal is heard in court. And in the meantime, she says she still plans to put forward a motion for a safe tenting protocol, adding that regional staff will continue working to house those living at 100 Victoria. It's also unclear what all of this means for Metrolink's already delayed plan to start working on that transit hub. Tony.
Okay, Alexandra, thank you. Alexandra Hollick with new reporting on the encampment story in downtown Kitchener. Well, the concept of safe tenting and a managed encampment site came up many times today during this discussion. Advocates for the homeless say it's the bare minimum the region can do in order to shut the site down. CTV's Jeff Pickle has more on what a safe camping protocol might look like.
I'm here to speak in favor of the region developing an emergency safe tenting bylaw before the June 22nd appeal deadline.
Delegate after delegate today imploring the region to not appeal the encampment decision and instead implement a safe camping or managed encampment protocol.
And so in the context of a lot of bad choices, safe tenting is the least harmful for people.
It's been a common theme through the two court cases where the region was seeking the legal authority to clear the 100 Victoria site.
I was really disappointed. I mean, several months ago, we had half of regional council interested in the idea of safe tenting zones.
Safe tenting or managed encampments can take many forms. In 2024, the city of Guelph passed a public space use bylaw designating small pockets around the city that were deemed safe for temporary camping.
Safe tenting is the idea that people at the fundamental level deserve the right to exist. It's just giving them a legal space to exist. And then from there, when you have a place you can exist, then you can also start servicing that with things like porta potties, with things like access to water.
The Social Development Center of Waterloo Region, one of the many groups asking the region to consider this option.
There is enough regional land to do so. So we think that this is very much a political choice to say that homeless people don't deserve the right to life, and that is quite an extreme choice to make.
For advocates like Alton and those who spoke to regional council, it's a path forward that makes more sense than another legal battle.
These are all parties that are funded by your tax dollars. The legal clinic, the agencies, the community members, the region lawyers, everyone involved is using tax dollars to get the same result over and over again. That people deserve the right to live, and that council would rather waste your money than give people that right.
So far, the region of Waterloo has not expressed any intent on creating a safe camping program. Jeff Pickle, CTV News, Kitchener.
Well, time for a first look at the weather. Let's head over to Leanne Evans now for the latest. First of all, welcome back to you.
Yes, thank you.
Good to see you again.
You as well.
Today was the kind of day, I was going to mention this, I've been waiting to mention this to you. It's the kind of day where if you had to start work at 4 o'clock, it was the perfect weather day. I got everything done, and then the clouds moved in and things got nasty just as I was getting ready for work.
Exactly, because we started the day off with plenty of sunshine. It was actually quite gorgeous out. It felt very warm, like a summer-like day. A little bit of humidity in the air this morning, and then when the clouds shifted, we had ominous skies, and you could see that some rainfall was going to move in. For some areas, it wasn't even rain, it was hail. Let's take a look at some viewer videos sent to us. This one from Mark on Conestoga Lake. Hail in June. Can you believe that? We also have a photo from Listowel, I believe, as well. Yep, here we go. Look at the roads.
Wow.
That is absolutely stunning, because it's just not something you expect to see while you're in the middle of June. And keep in mind, first official day of summer is on Sunday. So pretty crazy to see a little bit of hail activity out there today, depending where you're joining us from. You likely might have seen some embedded thunder showers as well. It is something that we're going to continue to see as we get into the next 48 hours or so. We're currently sitting at 20 degrees here in Waterloo Region, and we're going to time everything out, what's in store for the coming days, because we are watching a low pressure system that is going to bring more rain, thunder showers, lightning, and even more of that hail for some areas. Tony.
All right. Leanne, thank you so much. We'll get the rest of the story from you shortly. A crash near Morriston shut down traffic in both directions on Highway 6 this morning. The OPP say at least 5 vehicles were involved, including 2 transports. One of the trucks carrying a load of cement powder went off the road near Leslie Road West. Part of Highway 6 was closed for most of the day for cleanup. A third transport truck was brought in to unload the cement powder so crews could remove the crashed truck and clean up the road. The Ministry of Environment was notified. One driver was taken to hospital with minor injuries. Waterloo Regional Police say 4 people have been charged in a $48 million fraud scheme. Investigators say they were executives at a Waterloo Firearms company that claimed to supply large Canadian retailers, government and law enforcement agencies, but that in reality they were faking inflated sales to get more cash from their lender. CTV's Krista Simpson joins us now with more details on this investigation and the arrests. Krista.
Tony, we first reported on this case 6 years ago when the company was put in receivership over allegations of fraud. Now, 4 executives are facing numerous criminal charges in what police describe as a sophisticated scheme that led to millions of dollars in losses to their lender.
Regional police say that between 2016 and 2020, Trigger Wholesale, a Waterloo-based firearms and ammunition distributor, was at the center of an elaborate fraud targeting commercial financing company Clearflow. These images from Trigger's website, which now does not exist.
WRPS investigators determined that the suspect company submitted more than 19,000 fraudulent invoices for goods allegedly sold to major retailers. That forged documents were used to create the appearance of legitimate business activity to secure funding.
The losses totaling an estimated $48 million. Civil court documents include invoices that appear to be from large Canadian companies, but on closer inspection contain spelling errors and other irregularities. Police say that on top of fake invoices, there were altered firearms inspection reports, fake shipping and delivery records, fake email domains, and voice technology was used to impersonate employees of legitimate companies. Trigger Wholesale was placed in receivership in 2020 with extensive civil court documents outlining the allegations of fraud involving Mark Jadak and Jamie Lynn Jadak, the directors and officers of the company. Now, regional police say charges have been laid against 4 people, a 52-year-old man and a 48-year-old woman who used to live in Waterloo but are now in London, a 56-year-old man from South Frontenac, and a 64-year-old man from Guelph.
They are jointly charged with the following offenses: fraud over $5,000, forgery, uttering forged documents, the falsification of business documents, and additional charges including possession of property obtained by crime, laundering proceeds of crime, and identity fraud.
Police did not release the names of the accused, but say the 4 were all executives at Trigger. Police say the money from Clearflow was used in a Ponzi-style scheme while also funding lavish personal purchases.
The allegations first surfaced in 2020, but regional police say their investigation began about 4 years later.
Police say that's because Clearflow originally wanted to exhaust their civil options before moving forward with a criminal investigation.
And in 2023, that criminal complaint was initiated. It wasn't assigned due to caseloads and workloads and resources within our fraud unit until 2024, where my partner and I took full carriage of the investigation.
Some money has been recovered as a number of assets were seized and liquidated during the bankruptcy proceedings.
There was some cottages, luxury cottages, significant landscaping and work done at those cottages. There was a luxury yacht, luxury ski boats, luxury Sea-Doos, as well as sport utilities and luxury vehicles, Land Rovers, high-end pickup trucks.
All in Ontario, regional police say. As for Clearflow, the company is no longer operating. Its director of operations tells CTV she and her business partners are relieved to hear of charges being laid and hope justice will be served, adding they took advantage of our business relationship for their personal and business gains.
Regional police believe that Clearflow was the only company targeted. The accused are scheduled to appear in court in August. Tony.
Krista, thank you. CTV's Krista Simpson reporting live. Disgraced former Woodstock Mayor Trevor Birch made a virtual appearance in a London courtroom today for sentencing in a sexual assault conviction. He's already serving time for an unrelated case. CTV's Rita Ismail has more on today's proceedings.
Appearing by video from inside a prison, former Woodstock Mayor Trevor Birch sat quietly as a judge sentenced him in another case involving a former intimate partner. The 51-year-old is already serving a 4-year, 8-month prison sentence after being convicted in a separate sexual assault trial. During today's hearing, the defense and Crown presented a joint submission asking for an 8-month sentence to be served concurrently with Birch's existing prison term, followed by 18 months of probation. Justice Mark Garson accepted the joint recommendation, citing several mitigating factors, including Birch's guilty plea, which spared the victim from having to testify and avoided further court proceedings. While delivering his decision, Justice Garson stressed the broader impact of intimate partner violence, saying offenses of this nature are not only harmful to the victim, but harmful to society. They shatter a woman's sense of privacy, safety, dignity, and autonomy. Our courts must continue to send a message of denunciation and deterrence of this conduct, a strong message to like-minded persons. Advocates who attended the hearing say those comments send an important message.
Is serving time in jail. We don't see that very often, and I think it speaks to his position of power that he held and kind of the downfall from that. In both cases, actually, both judges separately spoke about his fall from grace.
As part of the sentence, Birch is prohibited from contacting the victim and remains subject to a 10-year weapons ban. Between the two sexual assault cases, Birch was also convicted of impaired driving in February of last year. Birch declined an opportunity to address the court before sentencing. Rita Ismail, CTV News.
2 weeks ago today, downtown Kitchener was filled with thousands of people celebrating the Kitchener Rangers' first Memorial Cup win in a generation. Now the celebration is on the road as the Cup visits the home communities of players, coaches, and staff. Let's go to Ayr now, where CTV's Karis Mapp is standing by to explain the local connections, and I see that Cup is right there beside you tonight, Karis.
That's right, Tony. You can't miss it. I'm here joined by said Memorial Cup just right behind me. We're in Ayr at the Cowan Soccer Fields, and this is actually a community that Rangers assistant coach Michael Zult lives in, and he brought the cup back today to share it with friends, family, and even young players. So the rain held off, and dozens of fans have gotten an up-and-close personal look with the cup, the same one that was hoisted by Kitchener Rangers players not long ago in Kelowna. Since then, the trophy made its way to Kingston this past weekend for the OHL draft. Zult was then in charge of bringing it back here to Ayr for people to stop by, reminisce about the win, and take photos with the highly sought-after trophy. Earlier today, I spoke with Zult about this moment, as well as fans who came out to see the trophy in person.
So I've lived here more than half a decade. My wife's family's lived here for generations, and it's an amazing community. Beautiful place to live, as you can see behind us, and everyone in Ayr loves their hockey and has cheered for the Rangers the whole way, so it means a lot to me to be able to bring the cup for everyone to see.
It was really cool.
I was actually really upset that I couldn't see it when they had the parade.
Go Rangers!
So knowing that it was going to be close to my community, even though my community is not Kitchener, where the team is from, it was really exciting for me.
And just a quick correction, Zult is actually the assistant general manager, not the assistant coach, but still just as excited to have this cup back here in the community. Up next, it will be headed back to Kitchener when the Rangers host their prospects camp this weekend. Later tonight, I'll have more from the fans who stopped by for the once-in-a-lifetime chance to get their hands and pictures with this Memorial Cup. Tony.
Looks like a great day in Ayr. We'll look forward to more of that at 11:30. Karis, thank you. CTV's Karis Mapp reporting live. Waterloo has a new plan to try to kickstart more housing construction. Just ahead, the city's plan to cut development fees, what it depends on, and why some were reluctant to go this route.
I'm Colton Weens. The Minister of Long-Term Care made a stop in Cambridge today to help officially open a newly expanded home, while at the same time announcing a new funding program for renovating long-term care homes in Ontario. That story is just ahead.
And also ahead, we've got a look at your long-range forecast. We are watching this low-pressure system that is rapidly going to move across the Great Lakes, bringing with it some intense rain at certain times. We'll break it all down coming up.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. ctvkitchener.ca, your home for news.
The city of Waterloo is eyeing a plan to drop residential development fees by 30%. That is, if it gets some provincial and federal money for big projects related to housing. The move comes at a time when the building community is desperate for a breakthrough as the water crisis locks up local approvals. CTV's Heather Senerin has more.
The city of Waterloo is banking on higher levels of government to help kickstart stalled housing construction. The ask to the provincial and federal governments, close to $14.8 million to help pay for 90% of two big projects, the Conservation Drive pumping station and an Herbsville Road water main expansion. But to get the grant money, Waterloo must slash its residential development charges by 30% and freeze those lower rates for 3 years.
It is very difficult for us to say that this will for sure lead to the outcomes that the program is aiming to, which is more housing faster.
Before council was given the green light to submit an Ontario and Development Charge Reduction Program application on Monday, there was some worry about the risks.
We're kind of just being asked to approve this based on vibes, feels bad.
The pressure to build is reaching a boiling point. An effective building freeze has locked up parts of the region of Waterloo due to water capacity constraints.
If homes aren't getting built, there's a lot of people that are either underemployed or not employed at all because of that.
The Waterloo Region Home Builders Association says something's got to give.
Is it enough to move the needle? I don't know. It should in some instances. But it may not be enough for everybody. But certainly, the more the market will open up.
The timing feels off to some. Just a few months ago, the city increased its development fees to over $25,000 for a single home to cover infrastructure deficits. If approved, the new cut will be retroactive to the end of March.
What's happened now is the provincial and federal government have come to the table with a grant funding program that, ultimately is offsetting that foregone BC collection to the amount of about 90%. And so that's a very, very impactful change that wasn't available to the city of Waterloo in March.
The city says the remaining 10% for those projects, equaling $1.6 million, would come out of the city's capital reserves.
We're going to leverage that into an investment. So there's no immediate impact on water, sanitary sewer rates.
The funding decision that's linked to lowering development fees could come as early as August, though it could be some time before anyone knows if it's paid off. Heather Senerin, CTV News, Waterloo.
Ontario's long-term care minister was in Cambridge today helping open a newly expanded care centre and unveiling a plan to renovate more of them across the province. CTV's Colton Weens was at that announcement this morning. Colton, this is part of the province's plan to build more so-called high-quality long-term care units.
Yeah, that's right, Tony. There's about 620 long-term care homes in Ontario, and the province is building about 165 new ones, with a goal of having 58,000 new and upgraded long-term care spaces. While there was already funding available for long-term care homes to build new and redevelop existing ones, this now offers help for landlocked homes that can really only renovate.
We will be providing 50% of capital funding that would have been eligible for a full renovation.
Ontario's Minister of Long-Term Care and Francophone Affairs announcing a new renovation program for long-term care homes in the province, meant to upgrade older homes and support repurposing existing buildings across Ontario.
It's part of a strategy to ensure that we maintain capacity within long-term care. Right now we have Class C, Class D, Class B, and Class A homes. So those that are from the other three classes, we want to bring them up to Class A and extend their lifespan by another 15 years.
The province has identified about 34 projects representing roughly 4,000 beds that are eligible for the program. but we'll see how many apply for the program.
We'll see how the industry, how the market responds to this new renovation strategy. They didn't know before we announced it today that it's there, so we also have to see who's interested in this strategy.
The program will fund up to 50% of what would be eligible for full redevelopment, and the ministry will fund 85% of eligible renovation costs based on a 15-year license term.
We need everything because we have capacity pressures, as you know, and so we're trying to be innovative.
The announcement also coinciding with the grand opening of 108 new long-term care spaces at the Fairview Mennonite Homes Ed and Karen Nowak long-term care home in Cambridge.
Oh, this is heaven. Oh my goodness, I have a chance to go there. I do volunteer work sometimes with 3 dogs, and it's so nice to see them smile. 10 minutes we stay there, 10 to 15 minutes with the dog, and they're smiling.
We put an addition on the existing home. We actually put a 3rd story on an existing 2-story and then added a wing on each end.
This addition used the province's construction funding subsidy, now supporting 192 residents in the community and 200 jobs.
And my husband Ed was such an integral part of the board and helping to fundraise for this building that today it's just an honor to be here.
The most needy get on a list, and then they are chosen to go to long-term care, and so we can accommodate more people now.
As for the renovation program, the minister says the portal to apply for it is now open in both English and French, saying the sooner groups apply, the sooner they can be looked at and approved and upgraded for Ontario's long-term care residents. Tony.
Okay, Colton, thanks so much. CTV's Colton Weens joining us live with that story. And let's go live outside now, back to Ayr, taking a look at some beautiful hardware in the world of sports. Of course, the Memorial Cup is on tour with the Kitchener Rangers right now, making a stop in Ayr tonight at this sports field. Hopefully the rain doesn't ruin the parade there, so to speak. Looks like some threatening clouds, but it's been an on and off day weather-wise. Leanne's back in a couple of moments with our forecast. Also ahead, the unique challenges of affording groceries in these tough economic times in a single-person household. But next, the Carney-Trump hot mic moment. What the two were captured saying about trade tensions as the G7 meeting gets underway in France. All right, Leanne is back with our weather. Welcome back from the East Coast.
Yes, it was so great.
Couldn't help but notice you had slightly cooler temps than we did for part of the week last week. We were looking at that across Canada map.
Yeah, we certainly did. One of my best friends got married on the weekend, and it was 12 degrees and rainy. So
you never know what you're going to get in Nova Scotia.
You really don't. And the day before that, it was 21 and sunny. So
I bet you made up for it with good people, good company, and good times.
We certainly did.
Nice.
It's a great time. But you know what? Now we're seeing that rainfall here. So.
Yeah, we were due. I mean, we had such a consecutive stretch of sunny days and heat, and then that all broke on Sunday, and we're kind of dealing with this scattered leftover business now.
And that's kind of going to be the trend over the course of this week. You know, it's not a complete washout. Like you said earlier, you got a great chance to get outside earlier today. But then, of course, the rain, the hail, the embedded thunder showers all moved in. And it's something that we're seeing out there now. Let's take a live look outside and see how things are looking in Ayr tonight. Of course, where many are celebrating the Memorial Cup. And look at everyone out at the soccer field, not letting those ominous clouds get them down. Looks like we've got a couple of soccer games going on. Hopefully the weather is going to hold still and the rain won't move in till a little bit later tonight, and everyone gets those soccer games in because the temperatures are actually quite okay for it. It's just this activity that we're seeing that's waiting in the wings, and that's what we talked about. It's not a complete washout, but it is a potentially record-breaking low pressure system that's going to be tracking rapidly across the Great Lakes over the next 48 hours or so. So with it, bringing heavy periods of rain at times, embedded thunder showers, and that potential for that hail that we saw earlier in the broadcast as well. But it's not anything that's lasting for a long period of time. It's just those short spurts that we're going to see. The bulk of this system looks like it'll track over our area overnight Wednesday into Thursday. And that's where you see those heavier pockets and, of course, the chance for those embedded thunder showers. We're looking at 20 to 40 millimeters of rain for most communities across southwestern Ontario over the course of the next 48 hours or so into Thursday afternoon. If you are along the south shores of Lake Huron, a little bit more rainfall for you folks, as well as down towards the Windsor area, looking at upwards of 40 to 60 millimeters of rain. Let's take a look at temperatures across the country. Pretty nice day out in Vancouver, 26 degrees. 25 in Calgary, 22 in Regina. It is 17 degrees in Winnipeg this hour. A little bit closer to home, 19 in Montreal through Ottawa as well, 23 in Windsor, and on the East Coast, still cool in Halifax, 13 degrees, 17 in both Fredericton and Charlottetown. Here in KW, we're sitting at 20 degrees this hour. Many surrounding communities hovering around that 20-degree mark, high teens, low 20s. Today, we kind of hovered around that for most of the day. 22 degrees is what we topped out at. It's quite seasonal for this time of year, just a little bit cooler. We're usually sitting around 24 degrees, our low 10 degrees. That's quite around seasonal as well, usually sitting around 12, and that'll be the story for tonight. 13 degrees, the overnight low. That risk for thunder showers continues as we get into tomorrow as well. Expect to see a little bit of rainfall activity too. Probably keep the umbrella handy. Maybe time out your walks if you're trying to get outside. 21 degrees for our daytime high tomorrow. And as we take a look at the long-range forecast, we do have the chance to see some sunshine in store too. It won't be a complete washout, but we are watching for those heavier pockets of rain at times throughout the next 2 or 3 days, I would say. We'll see how this system tracks over the Great Lakes over the next 24 to 48 hours or so in southern Georgian Bay. That sunshine coming out in your neck of the woods as well. 16 degrees for the daytime high Friday. Keep in mind, first official day of summer is on Sunday. And here's today's Weather Watcher picture. Okay, there's a story behind this one. This is from Ty, who is originally from Guelph, but he lives in Dartmouth now. Tony, as mentioned, I was out east at one of my best friend's weddings on the weekend. All the bridesmaids are already over in Halifax, okay? That includes Ty's wife, Kayla.
Yep.
So Ty is coming over on his own from Dartmouth, and the bridge is closed.
Oh, no.
It's pouring rain,
What?
and Ty hops on a scooter and makes it over to the wedding. And what a trooper for that. It got me thinking about all the things that we do in these conditions sometimes, right?
Ty is, that's called showing up.
That is called showing up. He had to take the blow dryer to his shirt and make sure that he was all dried off, but he made it to the wedding in time.
That is really called showing up.
Isn't that good?
Well, how did he make it across if the bridge was closed?
Well,
Was the pedestrian part
you could
still
still
open?
get across on the scooter.
Okay.
Those scooters, they come in handy,
Wow,
hey?
wow.
And you know I love a good scooter, too.
Yeah, they're fun. And in Ty's case, very useful
Yes,
as well.
exactly. It all worked out.
Love that story. Thanks, Leanne.
Thank you.
A hot mic moment at the G7 in France, capturing a casual exchange between the U.S. president and Canada's prime minister. Joking, engaging in small talk, but also getting down to business. Here's CTV's Mike LeCouture.
As G7 leaders prepared for their working lunch, Prime Minister Mark Carney took advantage of the moment to talk trade with U.S. President Donald Trump. In an apparent reference to the amount of Chinese electric vehicles Canada agreed to let into the country in January, Carney conveyed to Trump how little he believes it would affect the North American market. The agreement with China would allow for the annual import of 49,000 Chinese-manufactured EVs into Canada. In exchange, China lowered tariffs on a number of Canadian products, including canola. Also in Evian, Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc and lead trade negotiator Janice Charette met with their American counterparts.
We talked about a number of other issues that the United States raises with us, but we also talked about issues that are important to Canadian workers and the Canadian economy.
Now, after securing the deal with Iran, Trump's focus shifted to Ukraine. Following a meeting with President Volodymyr Zelensky on the margins of the G7 summit, Trump had this message for Vladimir Putin.
Russia should make a deal. Russia's lost tremendous amounts of people, and so does Ukraine.
Ukraine will win. It's just a question of time.
To help make that happen, Canada announced additional sanctions against 162 Russian individuals and entities targeting the Russian war machine. And President Zelensky feels a new sense of momentum towards a resolution.
It's great that everybody's understanding. Yeah. And it's great that Russia is not winning, and we have to push Putin to end this war.
G7 leaders will continue their meetings on Wednesday, but there are no plans for Trump and Carney to sit down together. But as we saw today, that doesn't mean they won't have important discussions, even if they're brief. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, near Evian, France.
Well, just ahead, one of the sweetest signs that the start of summer is near. CTV's Spencer Turcotte checks on the quality of this year's local strawberry season. Household spending habits shape your grocery bill, whether it's for an individual or family. But new research shows people who live alone are paying a price. Here's CTV's John Venevali-Rao.
Rice. We bought rice because it's on sale.
When it comes to affording food items, in particular for those living on their own, it can be summed up this way.
It's tough.
While everyone is feeling the pinch in the grocery aisles, the new survey from Interac found 6 in 10 solo households felt they face disproportionately higher per person costs compared to Canadians who split expenses.
As a single person living on my own, I definitely notice.
The survey found the average single-person household spends about $102 a week on groceries, compared to $80 per person in a shared household. Many of those living alone say it is harder to find ingredients portioned for one, and many say they miss out on the savings that come from buying in bulk, in part worried about food going bad before they can use it all.
If you're a single person, you have to worry about space. You're often living in a smaller space. You might have a smaller fridge, no access to a significant freezer.
Single-person households now make up about 3 in 10 homes. Greg Johnson lives alone and says for $100, he used to be able to fill a grocery cart.
$100 this this is $100 in here. You try to buy some yogurt, some let's see, the no-name products. You try to save up on that. Even the laundry detergent, you're trying to save on that. And nowadays I see people making their own laundry detergent, trying to save some money.
The survey found overall Canadians are changing buying habits because of rising prices. Nearly half say they've reduced or stopped buying premium meat cuts, and nearly 4 in 10 said they've switched to store or no-name brands in the last 6 months. Meanwhile, some note solo shoppers do have one genuine advantage. They can more easily pivot to buying what's on sale with only one person in the household making the decision. John Venevali-Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
They are sweet, local, and only here for a short time. Ontario's strawberry season is underway and demand is picking up. CTV's Spencer Turcotte reports.
The first Tuesday of the summer market season at St. Jacob's Farmers Market brought plenty of shoppers looking for one thing in particular: Ontario strawberries. Thorn Farms from Simcoe says the season is off to a solid start.
They're a little earlier because it's warmer. Right. Been warmer earlier, but it looks pretty good.
Warmer temperatures closer to Lake Erie have helped with getting a head start.
Probably a week or two. People around here are like, mine aren't ready yet. Well, ours are.
At Yolanda Fruits in Niagara-on-the-Lake, the growing season has looked a little different.
Everything's been stalled back a little bit, but it's been pretty interesting, honestly.
Despite the delay in that part of the province, the Ontario berries have caught up in size. Welcome news for shoppers who are increasingly focused on buying local, despite Yolanda Fruits also carrying American berries.
The main question we get the most is, depending on where they're from, it's really hard to sell U.S. strawberries because of what happened with Donald Trump and all that stuff.
Down the road from the St. Jacob's Market in Heidelberg, Hoffman Strawberries is just beginning what will be a short but busy season.
The season usually lasts about 4 to 5 weeks, so we should be good until the middle of July.
A cooler spring kept things on schedule, but last week's heat helped speed up ripening, just in time for when people come and pick their own strawberries at Hoffman's starting next weekend.
It's certainly the pleasure of choosing your own fruit, the ripeness you want, the flavor you want.
And even if the strawberry season itself is short, the next few weeks are sure to be sweet. Spencer Turcotte, CTV News.
Next, new developments related to our W5 reporting on a drug mule scheme targeting young Canadians. John Woodward updates us on an arrest. One of the men accused of being part of a drug smuggling network is behind bars tonight. The ring allegedly targeted young Canadians to be unwitting drug mules. As CTV's John Woodward reports, the developments come in the wake of a W5 investigation that uncovered multiple young Canadians in prison in Hong Kong.
It's shocking. It's a feeling that goes through your body that you cannot quite explain.
That's how Nadiria felt when she found out her 19-year-old daughter Jade wasn't coming home. Arrested and jailed by Hong Kong police in September, authorities found she had some 25 kilograms of cocaine in a suitcase she carried with her, and her family says she had no idea.
It took days, if not weeks, for her to really understood what had happened to her, because she did not know that she was being trafficked and she was being used as a drug mule.
Chats on Instagram showed Jade was applying for a job as a courier. She was reassured it was all legal. A W5 investigation tracked down 3 other Canadians in Hong Kong jails in similar situations, including a 21-year-old named Omar, and identified several recruiters in the Kitchener-Waterloo area for a drug trafficking network. Their boss, still unidentified, he just used a punctuation mark in chats, a dot. Now, Waterloo Regional Police say they've acted, arresting one man they say was a driver in the operation. Alexander Kwan appeared by video link in a Waterloo courtroom on Tuesday. He's charged with possession for the purpose of trafficking and possession for the purpose of exportation. His arrest, a development Nadiria believes adds credibility to Jade's story, as she urges Hong Kong to let her daughter go and for the Canadian government to push the case.
I believe that this drug cartel has taken enough from us, from this community. They've taken enough. So enough is enough.
As for those other recruiters the W5 identified, the Waterloo Regional Police say they are still investigating, meaning other arrests could be coming soon. John Woodward, CTV News.
And we'll have more news coming up. First, let's check in once again with Leanne.
Well, we are seeing some more wet weather move into our region over the next little while. We're going to break it all down coming up in your Wake Up Weather. Stay with us. Likely going to be a rainy night out there, so you can sit down and get comfortable with a triple whammy of the Big Bang Theory, followed by Match Game, and ending the night off with Password tonight on CTV.
Well, Leanne's normally joining us with the end of show report right now, but you're here at the desk tonight, so.
Well, Ashley has the week off,
yes,
so I will be
does.
filling in for her this week.
Enjoying her birthday week.
Yes, and she deserves it.
She
We're all
absolutely
allowed
does.
to take a little bit of vacation.
I agree.
Fill
I agree.
in for each other.
I feel some coming on, actually.
All right, we'll allow you to have that, too.
Thank you. All right, weather-wise, though, a bit of an on and off week this week.
Yes, it is going to be a little bit of rain, a little bit of sun. We will have dry breaks, but expect to see some thunder showers throughout the day tomorrow. Waking up, you can see we do have the chance to see some of that wet weather with temperatures actually feeling pretty nice throughout the morning hours, but we're not out of the woods tomorrow.
No, conditions-wise, we could do a little better than that, but I like the temps.
Yeah,
I'm okay with
and
the
hey,
temps.
some dry breaks, so you'll have a chance to get out.
A little bit of everything. Finally for us tonight, a Brantford athlete who is proving age is just a number.
Yeah, at 95 years old, John Monet swam his way to 4 gold medals. Here's CTV's Hannah Schmidt.
In the water, a class of 1. At 95 years old, John Monet doesn't just compete. He lives a life built on motion. The Brantford man entered the Canadian Masters Swimming Championships earlier this year in the 95 to 99 age category. He won 4 gold medals, but there was a catch.
If you want to beat me, you've got to show up.
No other swimmers entered.
You stick with it, good things will happen.
Born in Amsterdam in 1930 and moving to Canada in 1957, Monet has spent a lifetime in the pool.
I learned to swim in Holland. Breaststroke, that was the teaching stroke. I really didn't get back into swimming again until 1984.
Now he trains 4 times a week, rides up to 70 kilometers on a recumbent trike, and plans to compete in a World Championship event in Budapest.
I'll probably go to about 5 times a week. and also more mileage.
He's an inspiration to everyone that meets him and sees him in the pool, and anything I can do to help him do well in Budapest in 2027, I'll certainly be doing.
And doesn't get much special treatment.
I'm doing a lot of things with John that I'd be doing with national level swimmers, just at a slightly lower level, of course.
Monet's son, Paul, has become his biggest supporter.
He tries to keep things as safe and secure as possible.
Monet says the real race has never been against others, but against time itself.
My biggest recommendation I could make to an older person, stay active, do what you can.
He survived a stroke, a knee replacement, and still completed a recumbent trike ride 1 month later.
Went 93 kilometers on my trike, my birthday ride. I was then 93, so what?
And while his medals are shiny keepsakes, he says that's not the point.
It's not really important to become a champion. It's not important. The importance is stay active, physically and mentally, and you're going to be fine.
And Monet doesn't plan on slowing down.
Oh, I will do this until I die.
Hannah Schmidt, CTV News, Brantford.
I mean, love the outlook, and we always say movement is medicine.
Yeah,
right?
It certainly is.
It really is.
John does not look 95.
No, John does not look 95. Well done.
Yeah.
We can only hope, right?
Yeah, and he says it's not about being a champion, but he is a champion, so
Yeah,
good
100%.
stuff.
Great outlook, great approach. That's our time. We'll both be back here tonight at 11:30. We'll see you then. Have a good night.
Good night.